Guys, how's everybody doing? It's 7 o'clock, guys. Tuesday night. I know you guys are busy, and women, you guys have a busy day today. I hope you guys are settled down. I hope you had a good day. I had a great day. It's definitely not over. I've been looking forward to doing this all day. So it's been great. It's been a good day. First, let me tell you thank you to all the great people. Justin, my buddy from Maine. I hear you're getting some nasty cold weather up there now. It's moving in. And I heard today also, excuse me, that the tuna, the yellowtail, are really biting up there. I didn't know there was yellowtail up there. But that is awesome, man. I hope you and Becca are doing good. And I got the news thing that Sprague's is shut down for the winter, I guess, due to the weather. But thank you so much, guys, for everyone that's checks in regularly with the chatting. I want to tell you, I appreciate it very much. I appreciate everyone that has sent comments in. They're still coming in, and it's awesome on the different videos we've got now. Right at, I think, 100 videos right now that we've posted. We've got so many more now that are in the queue coming down the pike. And I just want to thank everyone from the bottom of my heart. This is exciting. Starting YouTube, February 26th is when we went live. And Jack has been a big help, has really got me started in this and did all the background stuff. It is quite a bit involved, and I'm very appreciative. But it's been a little crazy at times, but I wouldn't have it any other way. So, again, thank you, everybody. I want you to please, I'm going to remind you, please send in pictures to our Gmail address. Let me type that in for everybody. If I can do this right. Bishop 2019 at gmail.com. Yes, please send in your pictures of your catches, or if you got a cool dish, cooking thing that you'd like me to do, send it down the pike, and I'll acknowledge who it came from, and I will do that recipe. I try to keep them pretty short when I do them online. Otherwise, you guys are going to be bored to tears an hour somebody cooking with 15 steps. So we don't want to do that. But today, we went out, yesterday rather, I took a boat out. I've been down here about a week and a half, but the weather has been so atrocious. So I tried it yesterday, and man, was it brutal out there, like in the low 90s. They're getting such a heat wave here now in Florida. I'm telling you, it's going to be November on Friday, November 1st. Is at the end of the week, and yesterday it clocked in at 91 degrees. So it's been brutal out here. You know what was funny? We went on the boat, Amy and I, to see if we can find the 30-foot range, because we were hunting for grouper and snapper. That was the plan, anyhow. It was really, the weather was great, very little breeze, but the heat is what beat us up. And then this is something, Justin, you'll appreciate this. When we went to Maine and we did our striper, we did two charters with striper fishing. Oh my goodness! Up in New England, in the North Atlantic, I haven't been in there in years. And there were gigantic swells there that were really long and large, not short waves following each other like I'm used to down here. Instead, there were big swells. So when I went out yesterday, it was calm as a cucumber out there. You could look like you could walk on the water. And lo and behold, I'm bouncing on the water as I'm going out 25, 30 miles an hour. It was wide open. It was just calm seas. And as soon as I left the inland bay and I'm out into the open Gulf, And again, we're less than a mile from shore. I'm banging and banging waves, and they're just long, long, long swells, about a foot, foot and a half, but hardly any breeze at all. It was just like the water underneath was just causing long swells. I never experienced that before. And it didn't stop all day. I was sick as a dog by lunch. I stayed out until 2 o'clock, 2:30. I stopped for a lunch break and then had to get moving to get some air going. But it was a very difficult boat ride. So if any of you guys ever experienced that, let me know. I'm telling you, it doesn't pay. I have a sensitive stomach anyway, and I didn't take Dramamine that day. But who would have thought you need a Dramamine on a day when it's just, they said in the mid 80s? I figured, well, may not be too bad. Winds maybe 3 miles an hour, 4 miles an hour at the most, if no. It was absolutely brutal. So we caught fish near the end of the day. We caught a ton of speckled trout. But by that time, we were done and on our way in, and we stopped before we entered into the Anclote River, and we started fishing at the mouth of the river and along the mangroves. And over there is where we caught. I had some really good hits and caught a bunch of us, mostly specks and a little jack. But it was awesome. As you guys sign on tonight, if anybody chooses to sign on and talk live with me, it's open forum. Middle of February, 60 miles offshore on a lobster boat, dealing with the waves takes a while. Oh, buddy, and 60 miles offshore. Don't think I want to do that, but it does. It takes a toll on you. I've done good over the last 3 years since I've got this boat. I've been married almost just at 4 years now, Amy and I. And I bought the boat from my new father-in-law, and I didn't have a problem even in sometimes the rougher seas. That surprised us. If I know it's going to be real windy, anything over 10, 12 miles an hour, I don't even go out on the boat. It's not safe. And there's always another day you can fish. And I never got sick. Never. I always have my breakfast in the morning. That's my most important meal. And I carry lunch on ice and a lot of drinks, mostly water, and I never get sick. But yesterday, oh, that heat. I think it was the heat that just overcame us. It was brutal out there. You can only take off so much clothes. And holy mackerel. So I can imagine those guys going out 60 miles. Holy mackerel. Yeah, it does take a toll on you. And I met a friend down here. His name is Cole. We were in one of the bait stores. I went in there Sunday afternoon to a bait store. I met him, and he lives half his time in Alaska. And man, he goes out sometimes for 3 months at a time living on the boat. I can't do that. And then up there in the Bering Sea, in those waters there, downright dangerous, downright scary. So hats off to all you guys that have the stomach to handle that. And you're not afraid of those 40, 50-foot waves crashing on these big trawler boats that, he went out catching pollock. But it takes a lot out of you. So it looks so easy, everything, when we watch Wicked Tuna and stuff. Man, that thing would scare the life out of me. So just, it's better to face your fears, admit the things you don't know or you're not good at, and you miss some of the potholes in life and you stay safe. I like taking chances. Yes, I am an adventurer. I do take a lot of chances when I go fishing. But on a boat now, taking chances on land and on a boat are two different things. And on a boat, if you wanted my opinion, it would rather err on the side of safety instead of doing something stupid. Like today, for example, this was really a shock. Where you've seen our videos where we're coming down the Anclote River. Well, when it empties at the very end, it empties into what they call St. Joseph Sound. And we're still inland now. We're still in the channel. The buoy, the markers are on there. And my goodness, this morning we found out that some of the guys I was fishing with, one of their friends, I guess is a captain, using someone else's boat. And hey, bud, nice to see you, Mr. DM Goss from June Rabbit Creek, Alaska. Correct me if I'm wrong. How you doing, bro? Good. Thanks for stepping in, and I know you're at work. Let me know too. Just pop in. Let me know what kind of work you do. And now, because it is 10 after 7 my time. I'm on Eastern time right now. I'm in Florida, and so by you it's 3 o'clock. So just curious what you guys do for a living as well. And this guy came out. He had passengers, and I don't know if he wasn't feeling good, whatever, but he hit one of the channel markers, the buoys, and those things are like hitting a brick wall. He must have hit it so hard that the captain flew out of the boat and the guy drowned. And the boat had to be towed in. I think it's totaled. I don't know about the passengers, if anybody else got hurt, but freak things. And we're in there maybe 11 to 14 feet of water and got ejected from the boat. You have no idea when you're going in the boat. You could be going 10 miles an hour and hit something below the surface, and immediately, if you're not poised, and you never know when these things happen, you can get shot right out of the boat. And obviously, he wasn't wearing a life jacket. He would have been alive probably. Justin, what'd you say? Manager of a tire shop. Okay, go back off, Sean. You're crazy. YouTube Automod Bot. We have reviewed your content. John Larson. Sup, Dad? How you doing, hon? How are you doing? Well, that's one of my daughters on the line. This is my oldest daughter, and that's all I'll say. Otherwise, we'll have major ripple effect here, so we don't want to make that mistake. But we had fun with the boat. The boat was fun. We caught speckle, and I wanted to tell you that we went back out fishing this morning. Now, today was much better. Today was a whole lot better. I got up. I set my alarm for 5:15 in the morning. Got up. Granted, I was tired. I went to bed about 11. I needed a little bit more sleep. But the call of the wild, you guys know what I'm talking about. You guys that are addicted to this. I got up at 5:15. By 5:45, I was out the door. I had all my stuff already in the truck. I only had to take a couple things and my wallet and my keys, and I was ready to go. And I hit right to McDonald's to get fresh coffee. I never make coffee at home. I only drink about a cup a day, so why make a whole pot, go through all that exercise, spend $1.29, and I'll get a medium black coffee. I'm happy. And I have usually my sausage burrito, so I'm cheating there. I'm letting it out of the bag. That is not on the healthy side. I know that. But too lazy to start cooking up. I'm too lazy to start cooking up eggs at 5 in the morning. Just not this morning. So anyway, I met up with some of the other guys, some guys I met local that live over here as well. And when you're fishing, that's the beauty of fishing. You meet all kinds of people out there on the boat. You meet great people. Like last week or the week before, rather, I introduced you guys. I told you guys about Brody, young kid. He's 11 years old, and his dad. We met him on a charter boat. You have no idea who you're going to meet. And I do a lot of wade fishing. I love it. And we just have a blast. So we went and we caught jacks this morning. It was a little bit slow at first because it was pitch black out there. You got to really be careful because it was extremely low tide and it was real muddy and you sink in. So as we went in there, if you walk too far, it just drops off into the channel. So you got to watch it. It's about 250 foot across. That's a channel that comes in off the sound up to where there's a steam plant by Duke Energy. And they got a big 55-gallon drum barrels that the water's running down from the plant, and they have sections just barreled off where they do different treatment in different areas. That some have sandy bottoms. Where we were, it's really muddy, and we fished there a lot. And anyway, we eventually caught some jacks. Later on in the morning, we quit about 10 o'clock, so we didn't stay out there long. We were literally fishing. I met everybody at 6:30. That's our appointment, and we quit at 10 o'clock in the morning. But the jacks were anywhere from a pound to 3 pounds, maybe 1 and 4 pounds. But I wanted to show you some of the go-to. I've got them right here. The go-to. I brought some here to show you guys some of the jigs, things that I use on a constant basis when I'm waiting in situations like that. So I fish with, now it's been called a goofy jig. It's been called, I was introduced to it, it's called a Doc's jig. There's just so many different names to this and different manufacturers. But I think the guy named Doc originally invented this, and it's cool. So I want to show you these. They come in different colors, and I'll show you guys this. This, there we go. If you could see it, it's a weighted hook, flared out like that. This one's a 1/2 ounce, which is much heavier than I normally use, like that. And attached, this one came attached with a teaser fly and the hook. And we keep it like that. And in this fashion, I tie my dual lock snap swivel right onto this, and that prevents the thing from twirling in the water. That's why I use a snap swivel. That swivel will let the line swivel and keep this thing the way it should. So this is one color. We use this as very, very popular. Now this is this one is another color, and I have separate. I have all different teaser flies. That's what these are called. You guys can see this. There we go. These are teaser flies, and this, and I'll get right onto my snap swivel with this, and then I'll put this attached to it in the same direction. I'll keep the hooks. I'll keep them both the same direction. And we've got different colors, like this one works good too. For some reason in the water, the pink is a really, really nice color. So here's one that's already all been made up. It's green with a pink fly, a little bit of shiny tinsel in there, and they give a flash. And believe it or not, when we're fishing with this teaser fly is what they go for. It's unbelievable. This teaser fly makes the splash in the water, which may look like a shad or a minnow or a bait fish, and they go for it. Now we have them also. There's so many myriads of colors, but these are the ones. And here's one that's solid pink. This is a 3/8 one. Now I've got these in 1/4 ounce, in 3/8 and 1/2 ounce. Now they make them even heavier, but this is all I've ever used. Now these things will cast a mile, but I take my shrimp, and a lot of times I'll cut the tail off, and then little pieces, and I'll get it on here real tight, and I'll put it on the big hook, and that'll be a scent, just a little additional help when we fish it. So those are called Doc's jigs, goofy jigs, what have you. Now the way I fish these, normally I'm using maybe a 7 to 8 foot rod with a fast tip, and it's a spinning rod, and I have usually a 3500 spool, maybe 4000 if it's a low profile one, because you're going to do a ton of casting, and you don't need some heavy Goliath reel there that you're going to wear yourself out, because you're casting quite a bit and you're working the drift. And what I mean by that, for some of you new guys, and this is how we fish the dams when we fish for striper and other fish that are over there in moving water. Fly fishing is the same thing. Theirs is on a much lighter scale. They float the water more than likely most of the time. With these that are sinkers, they go down. I have to constantly mend the line. So if I know there's rocks, I'll cast all the way upstream and start taking the slack. Depending on how fast the water's running, I'll take up the slack and I can feel it bouncing. And I'm picking up my rod just to make sure anytime I think it's going to get caught. Now, when I'm fishing in this type of application, for these type of fish here, in a cove, in these inlets off of the sound, I fish a little bit different, and there's running water always going out, even if the tide is coming in. From the power plant, it's always running out. So I'll cast upstream. What I'll do is I'll let it settle down, and as it goes down, I might just flick the rod a little bit. We'll go like that. Just a quick go like that. So nothing really hard. I fished it different ways, and I've caught fish every time. So I'll let it go down, and as it sinks, every now and then I'll just tap it and just, yank the rod back lightly, lift the rod tip up, let it go back down again. And in the meantime, that's how you attract fish. A lot of them are holding by the ledge. You don't know where your bait is. So as your bait is going down, if any of the fish are perched by the ledge or somewhere in that elevation, maybe on the bottom, they're going to lunge out from cover and think they're getting a quick nibble when they smell that shrimp. And sometimes I catch them even without baiting and putting shrimp or any meat on the main hook. I catch them. And that's artificial, and it's really, really fun to do that. It's a real fun way to fish. Now, another way I learned fishing with these docks jigs, when I cast these out, holy mackerel, I'll usually count to 3, 4, or 5, depending how fast the water's running. I'll mend the line, and I'll just do really fast rips. I'll just horizontally, I'll just pull my rod sideways, take the slack up, let it sink, pull my rod sideways again, really fast rips like that. And it goes through the water. These things have an erratic movement like that. And when they go through the water, I've got slammed like big jacks and big bluefish here that annihilated these things because they like a fast bait. And they just go for it like a bait is running for its life and escaping them. And they see that, they sense something like that. And that's how you get some unbelievable hits. Now, this morning, it doesn't always happen like this, but usually this is the same thing with striper. Usually the best time to fish is usually in the beginning of light or the ending of light. And then I'm going to talk a little bit tonight about the saloon tables, how they play a part in this. So we did a little top water fishing. We could see jacks busting on the surface. If you ever look up a video, let's say you're at MONTAUK and you look up the word blitz, fishing blitz, you guys should do that. It's like a pot of boiling water, just bubbling like crazy. But I mean, it's even crazier now, like frothy, and it's jumping all over the place. Jacks are known for that. Bluefish do that. Stripers do that. These are real carnivorous fish, and they're very aggressive on their bait. And they'll trap shad and small fish up near the surface and pound them. And the seagulls will be coming down and getting a free meal, all the tidbits that are left behind. But that's called a blitz. So we saw that all the way on the other side of the channel. So we went top water. Now, again, I didn't know the size, and I call it profile. That means the size of the bait fish. So one of my favorite ones I use, I want to show you. Here we go. This, let me get a better picture of it. There you go. This is a jumping minnow. You can walk the dog with that, pull it back nice, and just twitch your rod back and forth as you retrieve it. It's a little bit of a technique you guys have to practice And we'll do a video on that, on how to walk the dog and bring back a bait properly. But with the jumping minnow, like the water is like here and this is like this. And you always got the top third of the head up. And it's like this, and it goes like sideways like that. And it's just like hopping. So by you just pumping your rod a little bit and retrieving or going sideways and like that, you're pulling it out, pulling it out, pulling it out. And I got slammed this morning with this. As you can see, I replaced, this is one of the original trebles. It's still hard. I put a new VMC treble on the back. That's why you need to have pliers that are called split ring pliers that can break. If you guys can see this little split ring, if I could turn it sideways, there you go. You get in between there, you expand that ring, and then you rotate it, and you can take all this out. But this is a jumping minnow. This did great. Now, this is a small one, about 3.5 inches. And then once I saw that, I saw there were bigger jacks there. And bigger jacks mean bigger baits. They're going for more food. This is one that's my most famous jumping minnow. I forget who makes the jumping minnow, but I brought some of these from Tennessee. And this particular color really works nice. It's got a white bottom, silver side with a blue top. So this is the same thing. It's arced in the water like this. It's heavy, and if you could see here, there is a bead right here. If I can get it clear enough. There you go. That little round thing right there. There's a weight fixed in the end there that keeps it in the water, and you're popping it, and it's walking side by side, and you just work the technique. Some days it's faster, some days it's slower. Now this one's about 4.5 inches, and this one has landed many a big fish. And this is a killer on stripers by us when they come in to spawn, or the big hybrid. They annihilate that on the surface, and you see it's so exhilarating when you're doing top water fishing, because that's the most exciting hit going. When you can actually see it live, a splash like the little jumping minnow this morning. There wasn't even a raise on the surface. All of a sudden, bam, it just took it and sucked it down. The fight was on. Other times you see a boil on the surface, a swell, or they go to hit the thing, thinking it's a bait fish. That's how these fish do it. They'll come up and they'll smack their prey. It is amazing how they hunt. And they'll smack their prey, the disoriented prey, and then they come in for the kill, swallow it. Well, whenever they smack these, I've caught many, they just hook in the side of the face, hook in the eye, in the gills, or whatever. They get sideswiped and they get hooked in the bargain, or they miss it entirely, and then they come back again, and bam, they come in for the kill. I've had bluefish, schoolies about 12 to 18 inches, were in that particular little cove, and they had come 2 and 3 times. I seen a boil and then just bubbling, and you see the top fin come out with it, just like rushing toward the bait, and then finally just jump literally out of the water and come right down and annihilate this and get hooked. So that top water action, that happens all on the ocean, deep water, no matter where you are. That could happen in the middle of the day. That's why it's so important when you're fishing. I mean, don't just be keyed on your bait only. Have wide angle vision. Be looking all over at the surface, and you want to see an inflection. Sometimes you'll see a V groove of waves going down. Maybe just a little ripple, but it's a V groove. There's a movement underneath. There were schools and schools of jacks this morning. And we could see them. You couldn't see them from the top. but you see a little bit effect on the water, a ripple, but in the form of something leading, and it was like a pack, and they're just swimming underneath, just hunting. And the way they do it is, all my hits were within 15 foot of the shore. I didn't get hit out there a lot. Sometimes I do get hit out in the deep water, but most of these were as I got closer to the shore. These were the guys patrolling the shoreline, and they was just killing anything that came within range. Now, those are jumping minnows. That's a buoyant. That's a type of lure. Let me tell you another one that I have phenomenal success with. It's spook. They're called spooks. And this one is a clear one. If you guys could see, there's a, let me see it. Oh, I guess it doesn't move. I thought oh no, I guess it stays. Okay. There's a barrel. This is a good clear one. See that little bead? This thing is weighted. This is called I believe, a junior spook. And I tried this. I have this in almost every color, but I like fishing with this clear one. For some reason, the trout go nuts. Everything that I fished it for, this got killed this morning. This one was just so successful. I got whacked on so many times with this. And now the way this fish is, it stays on top of the water, it floats. And when you walk the dog, it goes like that, like that, like that. That's walking the dog. And once you learn to pull it, it automatically will go like that. And sometimes the faster you go, it's zigzagging back and forth. Hence the term walking the dog. So this is a junior spook. That's successful, not clear. Another color that's been very successful and very lifelike that I use, and it used to have eyeballs. You could see how it's beat up to no end. I've got other ones with teeth marks on them. This is called a Super Spook Junior. The other one was a mini. This one's the next size up, about 3.5 inches. And this floats on the surface, all silver, clear belly with a black head. Again, I don't really know 100% how the colors on the side, everything is speculation, but you want to mimic, if you can, you want to mimic the bait fish. It's called, from the world of fly fishing, it's called matching the hatch. I fly fish for years in tight flies. You match the hatch. If you can match the bait fish, that's the whole purpose of artificial lures. So you don't have to get live bait, and it's so much fun with these guys. Oh man, they're awesome. If you guys ever do have to replace your trebles, this is balanced with this size treble. Put the same size trebles on, or single hooks. If some of you guys, and I like doing that too, because this is a real pain to take out of a fish, the trebles, and they do damage, unnecessary damage when you go to unhook it with your pliers. Sometimes, the fish gets mortally wounded, and I want to pull it out, but you get one hook out, you got to get the other one. It's a big bumfuzzle mess. But if you can put solid J hooks, that works real good too. So it's only one hook to get out. And these have, all of these have little barbs on them to stay in place. So this has been very successful. And this also has a weight in here. And this one rattles. If you guys can hear it, let me see if I can do this. These are rattling baits. Let me see if here we go. I don't want to get correct. Probably won't. Can you guys hear that? There's a little chamber in here, and it's always weight forward because that's what gives you the momentum. But every time you jerk and you're walking the dog, it resonates in the water, and you're doing that to get attention from the nearby fish. And really, a lot of times, I'm hunting. I'm going to throw a bait out there. I have no idea what's out there. I'm good. I find out right away when I use baits like that. And I check out where in the water column they might be, guys. So now they make that in a really large version. And if I know there's really big fish like big jacks or big blues, here's the hoss. This is the super spook himself. And this is a great color. They make these in all different colors. This one is about just that 5 inches long or a hair under. Yeah. And this one comes weighted. This one also has, if you can hear that, has a built-in little bead in there for weight. This is fitted with 3 trebles. So I've had brand new lures like this cast out and hook a giant uh, jack in the same area where I was fishing here. This happened last year. And I fought him, and man, I had a heavyweight rod and my reel on, and that was a good fight. And all of a sudden, after about 10 minutes fighting him, he never surfaced. The line went limp. So I reeled it back in. My lure was there, and you know what happened? First time I used it, I just bought it at the bait store. This center treble and the ring that goes in here, everything was pulled out of the lure. He pulled it completely out. GVS. How you doing, brother? Thank you. God bless you too, man. Thanks for checking in, bro. But these fish, let me put yourself in their shoes. For us, when we look at it as fishermen, it's real enjoyment because I release a lot of my fish. I only keep the ones that are really good for eating, and I do eat my fish, as you know, because it's in my videos. I cook what I catch. I do that all the time. But these fish, from their perspective, they're fighting for their life holding. I can just imagine what fish say when they hit something and they realize, oh, shoot, this is not what I thought it was. So it's a little bit funny, but you know what? God made us in dominion over the fish. I love it. I love fish. I eat my fish. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Now, I want to show you something that I did online. If you're going to be really get serious about this and you want to kind of make your the ratio to hook up a lot better, and you want to be there and give yourself every opportunity to catch fish. Now, all of this is if fish are in the area. Fish are moving around. They're not just sitting still waiting for you. They don't have no appointment with you. I can assure you that. So when waiting, we walk up and down a quarter of a mile, all the way up and down that canal, because fish are moving, and we keep walking down, and wherever we hit a spot they're hitting, we stay there. It dies down, move to another spot, because they're moving around. They're all over the place. There were tons of them today, but it's like in 1 minute, you see the place is overcome with jacks or blues or whatever. And then 2 minutes later, it's like somebody shut a light bulb off. That's exactly how. That's fishing. So don't get discouraged like you're doing something wrong. The fish are on the move all the time. They're always moving. They're chasing baits. They're eating 24/7. So if you go, you can do this on the iPhone. I know you can't see what I'm doing, but I want to tell you. Go to Google and put in, I'm going to give you a site to type in. So, lunar forecast and predictions. It's lunar forecast and predictions. And what it does, I'm going to look at this with you. In the top of it, it asks you to put in your, it's so hard to see. I apologize. It's terrible. They ask you for your zip code. So I'm going to put in my zip code of where you're going to be fishing. And mine here is 34682. And then it says click here to create your lunar calendar. And what it'll do, it'll bring up the month that you're in. And you go down till you get the day. And usually the day it is, it'll be highlighted which mine is. Now here's some of the information it'll tell you. This is for all over the world, fishing and hunting. If you tap on the hunting one, it's all in here. Whitetail deer hunting. If I tap it, I go to a different table. So there's two things to consider in the world of fishing. We're going to talk about the saloon first. And everything, please hear me right. Everything is based on if the fish are present. Now, the reason these lures have beads in them is to make noise. Let your presence be known. That's the purpose of that. So if fish are there, I want to put something in their face. I don't care if it's a reaction, but if they hit it because I'm annoying them, like with the Doc's jig, if I don't care how they do, I want to hook them because it's exhilarating. So here's what it says for today for me. It said that the major fishing and hunting times, they put that together. It happens twice in this day. 2:19 in the morning to 4:19 in the morning, and 2:47 in the afternoon to 4:47 in the afternoon. Now, listen, these are approximations. I've caught fish all times of the day, so this is by no means the end all. But this is extremely accurate and very rarely fails if you're in an area where where the fish are and they're moving and active. You're good, and if you have the right presentation, there's quite a bit to the picture. But listen, you're going to stand way better of a chance fishing, even if you're the first time out in your life. And you listen to me, and let's say you're in a boat, at least do some homework. You get a saloon forecast because depending on the moon has a gravitational pull on the earth, and it causes greater tides. The greater the fuller the moon, the greater the tide. Sometimes higher the water levels, and if it's greater the tide, the stronger the water's moving, the faster the water movement, and a lot of baits show up. So now, then they've got a minor time. They've got a major fishing time and a minor. Now, minor is, let me see where it says. Here it is, 9:08 a.m. to 10:08 a.m., 1 hour. That doesn't mean you can't catch fish any other time, but particularly these times could be your best catch and the most catch. And then 8:19 tonight and 9:19 to 9:19. So 8 for 1 hour. There's two minor times. Now, it also tells me that the sun data, when the sun rises. Now, this is important information. 7:40 a.m. is when the sun's coming up. You want to be out there at least an hour or so before that because the dark will be waning away, bringing in the light. And I'm telling you, predators are out there in the dark. These are carnivores, these fish. They're predators. And they're hunting fish. They're hunting their bait. Whatever it is. It could be crab. Anything that moves, they're going to bite and ask questions later. Welcome to the world of fishing. And and then it says the sun will set at 6:48 p.m. So it says it's 11 hours and 8 minutes of the day length. That's how long the day is. Now, if you look at that, coupled with that are tides. Now, you can look up tide predictions for your area. Like down here, there's a bait store called Angler 360. I go to Angler. In fact, let me go to it now. I want to show you guys something. I'm going to type in here. Let me save that page. I want to get a new. I want to go back to it. Okay, I'm going to do Angler 360. Here we go. I'm going to go to the website. I'm going to show you how you do this. Now, this is in my area, of course. Local tides. I was in. Here we go. And what does it say? It said, let's compare this. Okay. I fished, obviously, well, I didn't fish in the afternoon. But 2:01 in the afternoon was a high tide. 2:01. Now, let's see. 2:01 is high tide. We're going to go right to this. I got to get it back. And usually, what the solunar tables are, here we go. What the solunar tables, they will be like uh, when high tide is, let's say low tide is at the lowest and it stops. That's called ebb tide. You have a flat time. Somewhere about an hour when the tide changes and it reverses. So if you had a low tide coming in, and then you'll have a low tide going out, and then it reverses in about an hour, it reverses, and then a high tide starts coming in. Usually within an hour, it coincides with the solunar tables. They're really pretty accurate there. So let's say 11 o'clock in the morning is ultra low. That's it. So from 11 to 12, we have ebb tide, which is a flat tide. That means no water moving. And usually at that time, I mean, you can catch fish, but that's not at all the best time to go fishing. So it'll say usually an hour after that to maybe 2 hours or 3 hours, you've got a major feeding when it changes and the tide starts coming in. The fish, for some reason, get real active because now bait's on the move and they get it. So you want to look at your high tides and your low tides. The times you're coming out, you want to go from dusk till dawn. And at dawn, when it's dark until it gets light, and fish through that. That's a really good feeding time. And a lot of times, in fact, I caught my biggest snook. It was 37 inches. I know a lot of you guys have caught 45, 50 inches. But that's the biggest one I've caught. I've had many break off that were bigger than that, but I wasn't able to land them. And this 37 incher, I caught it at 7 in the morning on an ultra low tide. I was wade fishing here. Unbelievable. And I caught him it was a little Castmaster, an artificial no less, and just throwing it out and working it in. And he was within 20 feet of the shore on a super low tide, but he was feeding. And that's when they come out. And I caught him right when it was a break of light. And I said my whole family pitched. I was so excited. A 37 inch. Snook season was open at the time. There was no ban. And snook is 28 to 33, I believe. I'd have to go catch a 37 incher. It would have been great. All the snook I catch are either under that. I haven't caught one in the slot. I don't remember catching one in the slot in a long time. And I catch them out of the slot. How you doing, David? How you doing, man? Just say where you're from. Thanks for joining us. But that you got to think like a fish. That's why I said you got to study the biology of the fishes. Put a little bit of effort into it. It's really not. The whole purpose of this channel is to unravel what seems to be a mystery. Hey, Miller, how are you? You want to unravel a mystery. And it looks mysterious to the novice guy or girl that looks at the world of fishing. It's downright confusing. It can be very confusing. You go into Bass Pro and you need an Excedrin when you leave because you see 500 rods, 10,000 lures, all the attachments. It's overwhelming. So I want to, on this channel, and that's part of, if you read what I'm about, I'm passionate about it. I'm teaching and taking somebody from a novice position who's showing an interest, and hopefully I can spark an interest in you and get you brave enough to go buy some tackle. Jack and I did $100 Walmart challenge that I could get and I had a lady do that and follow it, and she bought it. And you can get some basic stuff. And there's so many types of fishing, from freshwater to salt. If you like bass fishing, smallmouth, largemouth bass. If you like pan fishing. If you like bigger fishing like striper or walleye fishing. musky fishing in the fresh, or you go salt water, and the list is endless of how many types of fish you can go after. And then you learn techniques, but the basic thing is the knowledge first of your tackle. Got to know your tools. Those are the tools of the trade. A piano is beautiful. Like, you know the story about the Stradivarius, that beautiful violin. It's so beautiful, but in the hands of someone who knows how to use it, it made music, it made it priceless. But if I had to play the violin and I didn't know anything about it and I wasn't trained, you're not going to listen to me. I'm not going to listen to me. But if you get trained and we can help you go from this point to this point to this point, as you elevate in your knowledge of this sport, there's times like if I'm in your town and I'm traveling and doing these shows on YouTube, I'm going to announce it where I'll be. I'd love to have some of the people that subscribe to that channel. I don't refer to you guys as subscribers. I think that's so demeaning, and I don't like that. You guys are just like me. You love the sport. You're hopefully on the channel because you love it. You appreciate what I say, and the cooking end too. I say that for people that love cooking as well. I have respect for everybody that puts their time into something and they want to share it. I want to make it as interesting as I can. This chatting session is awesome. I think it does more for me than for you guys. I have met through this so many people. It's just been awesome. But that is the very focus of this, whether it's fishing or hunting or outdoor. In Illinois, bring up. we'll have a big fun. How you doing, Ted? We will have a lot of fun, but that's the world of fishing, the world of hunting, and then like my cooking. I do outdoor cooking. That tailgater combo from Blackstone, guys. If you haven't checked it out, I have a video on that. Check it out. It's awesome. It's a good purchase. You can get it for under $200 if you look hard. There's always sales going on. You get last year's model or something. It works beautiful. And how inexpensive is that? And you can take it with you everywhere you go. And it's easy to set up, and you buy the carrying cases. I did a whole video on just the review, and another video cooking with that, like 2 or 3 already right now. I did it in Florida and Tennessee. And man, it cooks fast and furious. But there's outdoor cooking, and then I do the indoor cooking, and we've got a whole bunch of great videos coming up now. So, but that's the purpose. It's instructional. I want to have fun. I'm enjoying myself. I want to be successful at YouTube. I like to do it. It's a challenge to me, and I like meeting new people. I like that. I like being honest. I want to be transparent with all you guys. Like Justin Turner, if you guys can see him on the board there. I met him and his wonderful fiancee when we were on vacation in Maine. Now, who would have thunk? And his fiancee, it's her family that runs Sprague Lobster. And who would have thought we would have become just good friends, and and get a chance to go striper fishing up there, and met, Captain George, just some great people up there. That's what life's all about: just meeting people and having fun. And if I can encourage somebody or help them along, that's what it's all about. I want to do that. I want to be a good friend to people. And I like meeting new people, and I fish side by side with new people all the time. When I went up to Michigan with Jack and went to the very bottom, now the town with, I'll remember it here in a minute, but 65 straight up in Hammond, Indiana. And I met some great people over there. Doug, really wonderful guy. He caught steelhead salmon there. So we're learning, and we're making plans to go back again. This is the exciting thing about fishing. You never know who you're going to be with. Unlike with hunting, you're with your buddies, and you really don't meet a lot of people in the woods. It's not near as common as you do fishing. Sometimes you're shoulder to shoulder, depending on where you are. And if fish are running, everybody comes out of the woodwork. So fishing is an awesome sport for the whole family. I hope you guys are enjoying it. We're just scratching the surface. I just showed you some of the lures. I have so many tackle boxes like this that are just, listen, it's an addiction. I gotta tell you, a voluntary addiction. I like my fishing. I like buying lures, and I like testing them out. And some are really productive in all types of applications, fresh and salt. And some of them only work for certain fish. You learn personalities of fish as you do more fishing. Somebody said something funny on one of the channels that I watch on YouTube. He says, "If you do more, if you do more fishing, you'll catch more fish. So the more fishing you do, the more chances you have to catch fish." So if you guys have questions, any of you that are new to the sport, if I'm babbling and running my mouth and you guys missed something or didn't understand, I gave you guys my email. It's fishhook2019@gmail.com. I'll type it in one more time for you guys so you guys have it. At gmail.com. I make sure I spelled it. Yeah, that's the email. Don't be afraid to send me an email if you have any questions, or even if it's subject matter you'd like me to talk about. I'm game. I want this interaction with you guys. I want this to become exciting, and I'd love to answer questions. And if in these chatting sessions, and we're going to do these every Tuesday night now, during these chatting sessions, if you do have questions, wait to the very end. Like now, we're going to be on another 4 minutes or so. If you guys do have any questions, absolutely ask me, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. I don't have a problem. I appreciate everybody, my buddy from the Bronx and DM up in Alaska. People, all over the world are watching this. It's amazing. This world gets so small on platforms like this. It's almost like a couple of weeks ago we had people on from Saudi, one from Wales, another one was in the UK, another guy was in Ontario, all over the United States. It's just awesome. I had one person that was a subscriber all the way from Ireland, and it was 1 a.m. while they were doing this. So it goes to show you you never know when you put something out there where it's going to end up. So I hope you guys have had a great time. I have a bunch more notes that we're going to continue this next week. But please jot the email down. Check out Salooner Forecast and Predictions. It's very accurate. It's going to help you look at the Google local tides in your area. Anything with that kind of verbiage, you'll pull up your local tide. You might have to put your zip code in, or the zip code of where you're going to be fishing in what town. And if it's tide related, in freshwater, it's not. On freshwater now, if you're in Tennessee, you can go to TVA. Yeah, let me give you that one. So you guys do that. TVA.com. Start there, and there's applications where you can download it, all the generation schedules for the dams. And what I mean by that is, that's like for us tides. When I know the dams are generating, that means they're letting water out. They're making hydroelectric power. When they open those angled gates, when they drop them down, when you see water flying out, it's under tremendous pressure. What happens is bait fish and little things, they get all chewed up and disoriented, and they might come out in pieces down the bottom. And in that big turbulent water, big stripers, walleye too, all kinds of carnivorous fish come up there And man, what do you think they're there for? Big catfish. They go there to chomp on bait. They'll stay in the side and then they'll dart into the fast water, grab a bite, and go back hiding again. And so this way you can get generation schedules with TVA. They're really good, and it'll tell you how many cubic feet per minute they are discharging. And you'll learn it. You'll see if they say 1,000 cubic feet per minute, 10,000 cubic feet per minute, 20,000. Go out there when they do that, and you'll get a feel for what cubic feet per minute. Most everybody's got smartphones. And then you could see which is the right cubic feet per minute for the flow you want. We fish Center Hill Dam. It's the beginning of the Caney Fork off the Center Hill Lake. And big brown trout I've caught over there from the side there. I've caught nice rainbow trout. We went down the Caney Fork and we were pulling husky jerks, another type of hard bait. Just awesome. Just awesome. And it's so exciting. You never know what's in the water there. But if you start, it's like putting a puzzle together. If you start putting the pieces together, maybe the right time, if you're in salt water, let me get the time right in the day. Let me get the tides right. Let me check the saloon tables. You're starting to give yourself an in on the fish. I want to be in the best position at the best time, at the best light or no light. And then the other thing is, if the fish are there. If they're not, you go to another spot. And you go to another spot. And then especially if you're in a boat, you guys know, you guys all have fish finders, most of these do. Hit a waypoint, save it, and mark it what it was. And then you'll know that spot. If you consistently hit fish there, that's a spot. Read your thing if it's a hard bottom, if it's full of rubble or debris, or from salt water, if there's boulders there, or if it's a wreck or a reef, an artificial reef or an actual reef. You'll know where this was, and you can follow that and track that. And you can always go directly to that point and start at your successful points. And then you go on from there. So I'm babbling on. I don't mean to do that. I get excited. I could talk for hours about this. But please jot our email down. I'd love to hear from you guys. I'd love to hear if you have any thoughts on things. I answer every email. And if you send me a message, I will answer it. I want to post your pictures on our Instagram page, and I'll tag your name underneath it. This is just a boasting where we can just, show off. I want to show off good catches. So anyway, it's been great to talk to everybody tonight. We've had a nice group. Miller, was very nice for you to check in. And all my other buddies. Justin, give a big kiss to Becca for us. And we appreciate everybody. We appreciate all you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. And remember, next Tuesday, chatting again. I hope you guys checked out this past Monday. I had a great food video on crab ball appetizer. This is the holidays now. So Thanksgiving's coming. So we want to have nice appetizer food. And seafood can rank in there with beef and chicken and pork. I'm not going to let it go by the wayside. We're going to come up with a good dish for every occasion. So until next week, God bless you guys.